Monk mode. What is it? Why is it absolutely essential in this age of distraction to enter into this process and the 3 steps to get started with this journey in order to become a stronger and more grounded version of yourself? Now, if you have been following this channel for a while, you know that the monk mode challenge starts on the 1st every single month, and the 1st is coming up right now. So if you want to join a structured step-by-step approach to getting that mental clarity, to getting that proven process on developing that self-discipline in your life systematically, then you can go to monkmodechallenge.com to learn more about that. But what is monk mode, right? Maybe you're watching this channel for the first time. You're like, what is this thing? I've been watching all of these different YouTube videos and I've been hearing about this process, but what is your view, right? So in this video, like I said, I'm going to be sharing my own unique view around this and how I have been going through this process and how I have been helping other men go through this process as well, okay? Now, monk mode is nothing more and nothing less than a journey of self-illumination. Now, what does this mean? Well, we are living in the age of distraction where we are bombarded with stimulus, with distraction, with so many different stuff in our environment that is vying for our attention, okay? And monk mode is about ruthlessly eliminating everything that stands in the way between us getting that clarity so that we can tune into the signal, right? We're tuning out the noise so that we can tune into the signal, which is in your own heart, right? Which is going on that inwards journey and asking yourself the important questions like, who am I? Why am I here? What is my purpose, right? One of these questions, a lot of us go our whole lives without even asking them. And monk mode is about taking a step back, about slowing it down a bit and really getting inwards, right? Going inwards to get clarity on the most important questions like, why am I here? Like, what will I intend to do about that, right? And walking through that process so that we can then come back to the world, right? It's like you leave the matrix, right? You go into the wilderness. But this is not about staying in the wilderness. This is about getting those insights and coming back into the matrix, implementing them, empowering ourselves so that we can empower the lives that we touch as well. Okay. Now, why is it important? Like I said, the reason is because we are bombarded with distractions, with stuff that is specifically engineered to get us off our path. There is dopamine everywhere that we look, right? The instant fix on the phone, on the social media, on the food, on the pornography. So right now, more than ever before, it is so important for us to develop the process and the habit of going inwards rather than always looking for the answers outside of us, right? You are on this personal development journey. You already have all of this information, but the question is, why can't you implement that information consistently, predictably, and reliably over the long term? Well, it really comes down to you not having reasons that drive you in terms of actually doing those things, right? Like success is pretty simple. It's like, wake up early, work out, eat healthy, provide value to the marketplace, right? Like be healthy, wealthy, and wise, right? Like we know what to do. Like you could go and coach your friend and tell him exactly what he needs to be successful, what he needs to do to be successful. But then when it comes to actually implementing that stuff is what makes all the difference, okay? And this brings us to the 3 steps to implement monk mode into your own life, okay? And it's the 3 S's. Okay, so the first S is solitude. So the word monk actually comes from the Greek root monakos, which literally means solitude. Okay, and if you look at the sages and the prophets and the mystics, the one thing that they all have in common is that they isolated themselves. They went into the process of solitude and were therefore able to get those insights, which then they used to come back into the world and actually make a significant positive impact in that regard, okay? So the reason that we go into solitude, right? The reason that we cut off the distraction, the reason that we focus on what is true to us by going on that inwards journey is so that first and foremost, right, we could contemplate, right? Contemplate the important questions. Like, why am I here? What is my purpose? Like, what am I even here to do? Like, why even stay alive? Like, why do you even exist? What is your reason for being? Right? When we really take the moment and give ourselves the space to contemplate these questions, then the insights arrive, right? And with those insights, we get more clarity, right, around why we do what we do. And you can wake, like, okay, I want to wake up at 5 a.m. every single day. There's one person who does it, the other person does not do it. What's the difference? The difference is the person that actually implements that advice actually has a reason for doing so. He has a motive to take that action, right? We think motivation is about getting hyped up, but motivation is really about getting clear on the motives for why you do what you do, right? Because with that clarity comes the certainty, right? So it starts with contemplation that leads to the clarity, which leads to the certainty. And all of these things can only come when we give ourselves the space and the time to go into solitude. Okay, now the second thing, which is a critical component of the monk mode process, is sacrifice. Okay, a quote that I have heard going around the interwebs at this point is that when you do not make sacrifices for what you want becomes the sacrifice. Okay, it's a very profound quote that I meditate on a lot to this point. And once you have that clarity, right? Once you have that certainty, okay, I am here to do X, Y, and Z. I am here to do whatever it is, right? You decided, okay, this is what I want to create in my life. This is who I want to be. This is how I want to serve, right? And that is when you make the sacrifices that don't align with that, right? If you have the intention to build a strong, muscular, lean physique so that you can have the energy and the vitality to serve, then it comes through sacrificing the sugar. It comes through sacrificing the junk food. It comes through sacrificing time that you would watch Netflix for hours on end and going to the gym, right? So, part of getting what you want in life comes through knowing what you must give up in order to get it, right? You can either be great or you can go and be browsing social media all day, every day. But it's very difficult to actually do both, right? You can either express who you are capable of being, you can either live into your potential, or you can bust your nuts to pixels on a screen and binge watch YouTube video after YouTube video, and it is very difficult to do both at the same time. And an amazing distinction was made by George St. Pierre in his book, Way of the Fight, right? So if you don't know who he is considered by many to be one of the, if not the greatest fighters in UFC history. And he says, he used to be a garbage collector, right? And he had the vision to become the greatest fighter of all time inside the UFC, right? And what he did is that he stopped going out, he stopped drinking, he stopped meeting up with his friends, and he was just focused on his goal, on his vision, right? And he makes the distinction that it's not a sacrifice, right? It's not a sacrifice that I stopped going out. It's not a sacrifice that I stopped drinking. It's not a sacrifice that I stopped spending time with friends that didn't serve me, right? It was more a decision, right? It's a decision to live into that vision. And with sacrifice, like, I'm giving this up, but it's like, yeah, you're giving that up because you decided what is more important than the thing that you're giving up, okay? So very important to consider that as well. And then finally, the third step is the Sangha. Okay, now what is the Sangha? So, Master Buddha, a disciple, came up to him. He's like, Master, what is the most important thing in this journey towards enlightenment, into self-actualization, right? Is it you? Are you the most important thing? Are you the master, the most important thing? He's like, no, it's not me, right? He's like, is it the teaching, right? Is it the Noble Eightfold Path? Is it, is it the Noble Truths of Buddhism? He's like, no, it's not the teaching, okay? The most important aspect in this journey towards becoming who you are capable of being, towards expressing who you are capable of being, is the Sangha. Okay, now this is a Sanskrit word which literally translates to assemblage, right? Which means that you are in a community of like-minded people that are on that same path, that are holding you to a higher standard, that are holding you accountable, that are making sure that you can consistently do the things that you said you are going to do. Okay, it's very difficult to fly with the eagles if you are stuck swimming with the turtles, right? So it's extremely important. This is not just something that the Master Buddha said. This is something that comes up in the works of Napoleon Hill as well, the mastermind principle, without which it is very difficult to step in and live into the vision of who we believe ourselves to be capable of. Okay, so if you want to implement these steps on your own, definitely all power to you. Do that. It really just comes down to the solitude, to understanding what sacrifices you have to make in order to get what you want, and then surrounding yourself with like-minded people that are on that same path that will hold you to a higher standard as well. And if you want to join us inside this community of the Monk Mode Challenge, in which I'm going to be guiding you on a 30-day journey every single day, giving you a mission, giving you an action item so that you can get that profound clarity in your life that gives you the certainty to actually follow through on your intentions, and also providing you with the systems and tools that allow you to stay on track regardless of what comes in the way. Okay, so if you want to join us inside that, you can open up a new tab in your browser window, go to monkmodechallenge.com. I'll leave a link out in the description as well. But either way, I hope you got value from this video. Leave a comment below letting me know your number one takeaway. Click the like button if you like it. Subscribe if you have not already. With all that being said, this has been Mo, and I'm going to leave you in the peace and power of the one infinite creator, and I'll catch you in the next one. Much love to you. Take care.